This podcast is sponsored by The Generational Algorithm by Francisco Castillo. Discover how to rewrite the emotional code passed down through generations and transform your life. Get your copy today on Amazon at the link in the description.
Exploring generational trauma, healing cultural and family wounds. Learn how cultural trauma and identity shape us through intergenerational trauma and discover ways to rewrite inherited pain for healing and growth. Understanding cultural trauma, identity, and generational trauma. You know, I was thinking about how much our identities aren't just shaped by our personal experiences, but by stories and wounds carried across generations. It's wild when you realize that some of the struggles we face today, the way we relate to community, family, or even ourselves, aren't just our own. They're part of a bigger, almost invisible history of cultural trauma that stretches back years, sometimes centuries. Imagine your family carrying an emotional blueprint, this pattern of pain and resilience that's been passed down, sometimes without anyone even realizing it. This isn't just about stories told at the dinner table, but about inherited trauma encoded subtly through behavior, expectations, and even biology. It's like a silent legacy. Now, the term that covers this phenomenon has many names: intergenerational trauma, ancestral trauma, family trauma, transgenerational trauma, and multigenerational trauma. All of these describe how the pain and scars from one generation's suffering don't simply vanish, but echo into the next. It might show up as anxiety, identity struggles, or patterns of behavior that are difficult to shake. What really hits home is how cultural trauma is connected to identity. When you grow up in a family or community that has endured historical trauma, whether it's displacement, discrimination, war, or systemic injustice, it shapes the way you see yourself and your place in the world. There's a constant negotiation between honoring your heritage and dealing with the heavy weight of its history. It's kind of like this unspoken algorithm running through families, affecting emotions and choices without explicit explanation. That idea is actually explored in a book called The Generational Algorithm. This book dives into how these emotional patterns get passed down, and how families can potentially rewrite these algorithms to heal and grow beyond inherited pain. At its core, understanding generational trauma helps us make sense of why some feelings or reactions feel bigger than just our own. It's a way of connecting with that larger story and, more importantly, learning how to process it differently. Why it matters. This trauma impacts not just individuals but whole communities, influencing mental health, relationships, and even cultural identity. How it manifests. Through anxiety, mistrust, silent family rules, or pressure to maintain resilience to avoid repeating mistakes. What we can do. Start awareness by recognizing these patterns, then consciously working to break harmful cycles. One of the most powerful things here is that this isn't a deterministic story. Knowing about multigenerational trauma is empowering because it opens the door for transformation. Families can decide to rewrite painful scripts and create new, healthier ways of relating to their past and future. For anyone curious about this whole dynamic of emotional inheritance, I highly recommend checking out The Generational Algorithm. It's a practical guide that explores how we can reshape the emotional legacies we inherit and start fresh. If you feel like family stories or unseen burdens are part of your own life, this book could really offer some valuable insights and hope. So yeah, when you think about identity, it's never just about the here and now. It's a mix of past wounds and triumphs, all woven together, sometimes like an invisible family thread. Understanding this helps us be more compassionate with ourselves and with each other. If that sounds like something you'd want to explore more, definitely buy now on Amazon and see how the book helps unravel these complex emotional patterns and shows a path toward healing.